Hello, my name's Harrison Crawford, a journalism student at the Sheffield College. Welcome to Paul Corcoran, the Chief Executive of the Sheffield College. Paul will be answering some questions today in a Q&A format. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
You recently gave a similar video in January to all staff. I would love to hear the feedback you got off that.
Yeah, okay. It was an interesting feedback. I had around about 35 people responded.
Yeah.
Most of it was very positive. Between 8 and 9 said that it was a clear message. Around about 9 out of 10 said it was something to be repeated. 3% said never again, which I guess is always a worry, but I guess that's one person out of the 30 or so. And they also suggested that an interview, if you like, interview style brief might be the right sort of thing to do. Hence the reason for me being delighted to be here today. Absolutely. To speak to yourself.
Yeah.
So,
brilliant. How would you sum up the situation at the college just now?
Well, I think the college is a great place. I mean, there's no two ways about that. FE is in a difficult spot at the moment in terms of the wider context, and I think the college has got to face up to a lot of those challenges. I think the way forward for us as a college, though, the only way forward really, is sustainable growth. We need to find ways of increasing our funding, diversifying our funding. We recently had a letter from the Education Funding Agency saying that our funding next year is being cut by 1.9 million, and that's based on the fact that we haven't recruited as many students as we might have liked to have done. To achieve sustainable growth, that has to be offset. Okay, so we're looking at other means of doing that through higher education, through apprenticeships in particular, but it's a challenging position.
Absolutely.
But we need to address that. It's one of those areas whereby we need to pull together to find the best solutions to deliver the only way forward, which is sustainable growth.
What would you say was the current status on the Learning Together review? Okay,
Learn Together review is a good question. It's interesting because it kicked off last summer. We had the focus groups some time ago. They provided some feedback in the form of a report that was published on the college intranet. Everything's been published that was collated during that process. It's completely open, completely transparent. There's a meeting of the steering group next week, and I've put together a report which shows the recommendations that have been implemented, the recommendations that are in progress, and actions that will not be taken. Recommendations not taken forward. Now, on the recommendations that have been completed, one of the key things there is we've agreed to launch a Speak Up and Join In forum.
All right, okay.
And what that forum does is it provides the staff with an opportunity to take representatives from right the way across the college to join that forum, to join that group, in order to look at the types of issues the college is facing, but also to identify the solutions. Because you often find that the solutions to a lot of the problems that we have do actually come from the staff themselves.
Yeah, within.
Because they are so closely sort of linked in with actually what's happening on a day-to-day basis. And on the recommendations to be looked at, there are a number of comments in there about integration of Spark's teaching services, associate staff, associate lecturers, and there are also questions in there around things like workload. There's no easy solutions to those, and so those are things that we will need to look at over time, but they are recommendations that we do need to address. So we're not shying away from that. We just haven't quite got the answer yet.
It's a tricky one, isn't it?
It is a tricky one, yeah, absolutely right. There's no sort of real right or wrong answer on these things. Some of these things have upside, some of these things have downside. So it's there's no obvious way forward. Otherwise, obviously, we'd be doing it, I guess. But we tend to find that the best solutions do come through from the staff, and I'm sure the Speak Up and Join In forum is going to have a big role to play there.
Absolutely. You might have touched upon it already, but what would you say was your main priority right now?
I think it is sustainable growth, to be honest. It's getting that balance right. I mean, we have to get we have to improve our learner achievement rates. We have to improve the learner experience. That's a key ingredient to sustainable growth. We have to have an attractive proposition as a college. The other side is making sure we balance that with the finances. Okay, so it's always a tricky balance, and the reality is if we can attract more students by having the right courses on offer, the right sort of products. If we can make that offer more accessible to more people within Sheffield, now that can have a massive impact on their lives in terms of their own achievement, moving into work, moving on to apprenticeships, and that is a top priority, for myself. But to do that, we need to be able to balance the books as well, and sustainable growth is the way forward.
What would you say you're most proud of about working at the college?
Well, I think it's another great question, to be fair. It's one of those ones that I guess you maybe don't ask yourself explicitly, sometimes. But the Sheffield College is a great place. I mean, it is the Sheffield College. You know, I mean, many sort of advocates that have studied here previously around the city. I often meet people when I'm out and about, and they will say, "Oh, you work at the college? That's a fantastic place. I studied there. You know, I did this, I did that." And it's absolutely fantastic that they're wedded to the college in terms of the impact it has on the community. So immensely proud of the fact we are the Sheffield College, and the fact that when people study here, they can say they have studied at the Sheffield College, and that has a lot of value in its own right.
That's it.
And again, I hope hopefully that helps transform their lives when they go on to do more things in their career.
Brilliant. Thank you, Paul.
No, thank you very much. Great.